that we use.
Okay.
But yeah, just a side note because you brought that up.
Right. Okay. So, all right. Now let's just say North Korea does launch and fire at us, which is a very strong possibility. Now, do you see World War III happening, or do you just see another Korean conflict?
Oh no, I definitely see World War III happening. Tensions are too high everywhere. I mean, we got the Middle East, that's a mess. Now we've got the Far East, that's a mess. We've got Russia, that's just they've wanted for a decade now to wipe us off the map, and yeah,
Right.
no, it's definitely we're on the verge of World War III, definitely.
Right. Well, Russia's even threatened to nuke us as well, just recently at a UN summit in South Africa, I believe.
Yeah, I got to say I missed that. I haven't really seen any of that as of yet, but I do know that they've done a few things like, they've flown their nuke bombers or what have you quite close to our airspace to kind of test us, if you will.
Right. Well, and I guess in return, the U.S. flew its B-2 stealth bombers close to North Korea too. So, and well, we saw what their reaction was.
Yeah,
They put the missiles in firing position. So, whether or not North Korea, and here's the other thing, some people are speculating is that, North Korea could just fire, will fire the missile, but it might just land in the ocean. Now, whether that's intentional or because North Korea's missile guidance system isn't exactly up to par, it very well, if a missile is launched, it very well could miss its target. As far as I know, and correct me if I'm wrong, but North Korea, their missile systems or the missile guidance, or well, actually just the missile systems itself, is a bit antique.
Yeah, and whether it's on target or not, the very point that they're going to fire it, again, tensions are really high, and
Right.
as soon as that missile launches, I mean, it's, I can't hardly believe, and maybe we will. Nothing would surprise me with this administration right now, but I can't hardly believe that we're just going to wait and see where it lands.
Well,
I would
think of
assume.
Pearl Harbor. I mean, literally, think of Pearl Harbor. I mean, some people say that Roosevelt knew that was going to happen. Okay, he knew months before the event that Pearl Harbor was going to get attacked by the Japanese. Now, honestly, I don't know one way or another if he knew or not. I haven't seen anything to say but I do know that military intelligence or naval intelligence at the time, did figure it out, at least a few weeks before the attack, but because it was so outlandish and out of this, they thought it was out of this world. No way would the Japanese attack us. That they just disregarded it, but Japanese attacked us anyways. So, but I don't know if Roosevelt actually knew it was happening, but literally this almost sounds like Japan coming to attack the U.S. again, Pearl Harbor, but this time it's North Korea. Which is a very good possibility because North Korea's missiles can reach Hawaii.
Right, and the thing is we can't underestimate them like we underestimated Japan. Yeah, we ended up, Japan ended up paying for that, but
Well,
with
just
that
look at
being
the
said, Japan did quite a bit of damage to us. Not only to Pearl Harbor, but just to the morality of America also with that attack. So we can't underestimate North Korea because they're smaller, because they're kind of outdated
right.
technology.
Right. Well, and I was going to say, look at the Korean conflict back in 1950 to 1952. some North Koreans actually say, it was the U.S. trying to take over North Korea and take over the Korean peninsula. Now, whether that's true or not, I don't know. They say that is true, and that whatever we say is just propaganda, not true. So who knows? But that the Korean conflict right there, very bloody war, hard fought. Hard fought conflict. A lot of U.S. soldiers died. China got involved, which is another possibility this go around as well. And the war, lasted 2 years and ended in an armistice agreement. It wasn't a peace treaty, just an armistice, a ceasefire. And that ceasefire has lasted for about 60 years until just recently now. Not too long ago, North Korea abandoned it. So yeah, you're absolutely right, Rick, that we shouldn't underestimate North Korea, because even though, yes, their weapons are antiques, and some people are even saying, well, we can get done with North Korea in a month and a half, 2 months. It's like, yeah, I'm sure that's what they said back in 1950 as well. They just, a couple months here, that's it.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I mean, look at the first Iraq War. Within a couple weeks, I mean, we pretty much declared a win there, and I think it could be the same in North Korea. The whole thing I don't like about this is all this talk of nukes, all right? I don't care who's firing them, whether it's North Korea or even us. To me, that's just a scary thing all around. And, I'm not trying to sound like a tree hugger or anything, but if anything's if anything's going to destroy this planet, it's going to be from a bunch of countries firing off a bunch of nukes. I mean, for Christ's sakes, I personally feel that if needed be, we could invade North Korea and take care of that quite quickly with the type of technology we have without having to nuke them. Problem is if we were to try and do that, they are going to fire off a nuke. I mean, there's no doubt about that. And, I don't know. It's just a sticky situation, and it's a scary situation. And personally, this is coming at a time where this administration is making all kinds of budget cuts, but, not just a lot of the budget cuts that they're making are to our defense. And that's also a scary thing to me, because that's the last thing we should be cutting right now. I mean, we've got all these places around us that want to blow us off the face of the map. And, one of the first things that we're constantly cutting is our defense.
Right. Yeah. And I agree. And well, I'm going to talk about this later in the show when we get to the Constitution. But, some of the things in our government, I call, core programs, are things that you do not cut funding to. One of them is defense. The other is education, healthcare, and Social Security. Those are the ones I can just name off the top of my head. Are ones that you just do not cut funding to. But I agree. Defense cuts, in the spending and stuff, all because of the sequester, which really, Obama is blaming Republicans for it, but really, he's the one that came up with the sequester. I mean, it was his idea.
Well, no, that I got to disagree with you on that.
No. It was actually when they were trying to hash out a budget back in 2011, and he put the sequester in there to kind of scare Republicans to make a deal or whatever, and he put that in there, and they finally came to a deal because they didn't want the defense budget to get cut or anything. But now here comes a sequester, and Obama is hating it and blaming Republicans and stuff like that. It's like this is your creation here, But okay, you disagree, so go ahead.
Well, I do disagree with that because the Republicans had just as much as a hand in the sequester as the Democrats did. And in fact, um, when they drew the sequester up, see, originally the sequester was not supposed to happen. Now, this is where you can blame Obama and his administration, because when this was drawn up, Republicans put things in there to have certain things cut if they didn't find a way, if the super committee could not find a way to cut the budget, then it got put on to Congress. Well, then obviously Congress doesn't get along, and they can't come to agreements on how to cut the budget, so therefore now the sequester goes in place. And so actually, in my book, everybody's to blame. This isn't just Obama's deal.
Right.
This was drawn up by both Democrats and Republicans. Republicans actually had a lot of say what was being cut in the sequester, but like I said, the sequester was never intended to happen. The super committee was supposed to find a way to cut a certain amount of money from the budget. They weren't able to do it, so then it got put on to Congress. Then Congress wasn't able to do it, so therefore the sequester kicked in.
Right, yeah, I totally forgot about the super committees. I remember when Obama announced that, I was like, what a joke. Seriously, a super committee? Just what this country needs, more committees.
Yeah, and I just want to make clear, by no means am I defending Obama.
No,
but
I know.
But the thing is, this is where we have to blame kind of everybody in government right now, because the two sides couldn't get together between the super committee and the Congress. The two sides couldn't get together to figure out how to make certain cuts in the budget to reach a certain dollar amount, which is bullshit because, you look at all these different things that we fund, and a lot of this stuff that we fund, for instance, we spent $800,000 on studying snail sex, and we spent $400,000 to figure out why lesbians are obese, and you got fund after fund after fund like that, and yet these guys can't figure out what to cut.
Or let's not forget the millions of dollars in U.S. surplus to Egypt and the Muslim Brotherhood and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, with the F-16s and definitely. And meanwhile we're cutting our defense, so we're boosting up their military and cutting our defense.
Well, and really, I mean, if you're Obama, you're not too worried because honestly, yes, the defense is getting, military is getting cut and stuff like that. But, his DHS, his Gestapo police isn't. They're still getting fully funded. But now people are asking, okay, why are you buying all these bullets? Of course, DHS comes back and finally says, we don't have to tell you. Basically, in a nutshell. They won't answer the question, but you got Obama's Gestapo, the DHS, and they're getting funding. They're taking all the rounds, the firearms. I mean, they got tanks, armored troop carriers. I mean, they have better armored troop carriers than the military does. I mean, that's kind of bad right there. I mean, if that's not a sign that our our police, or our government police, I should call them, has better equipment than our military.
Yeah, and it kind of bugs me, that we spend all this money on DHS, because really what the DHS is doing is really was what's supposed to be our military's job, and it's almost like we're slowly phasing out the military into this DHS deal, and it does bug me a little bit. And and I'm not even going to pretend like I know why they're buying these vehicles or bullets. I think on the bullets, my theory is a little bit more low key than most others' theories. But I can tell you that here in my area, here in Michigan, I actually saw one of these armored vehicles for the first time, and it was kind of eerie, to be honest with you, because I see a lot about it on Facebook, and I see a lot of people talking about it, but never really seen it up close and personal with my own eyes. And I actually I had one pull out in front of me here the day before yesterday. One pulled out in front of me that was being towed on the back of a military flatbed, and it
Oh,
had a police escort and followed by military